So we have a big cabinet reshuffle, earlier
Actually,
than
yes.
expected and on a larger scale than we anticipated.
Just have you reset your memory, Kusudichai? Because I have to reset mine.
Why?
I haven't remember all the names in this current cabinet yet.
So how many days has this cabinet been in office? About 4
It's,
months?
5 months.
5 months?
Yes, and it's very typical of the Thaksin, pro-Thaksin or Thaksin
So you see his signature all around.
administration.
Huh?
Right. For one thing, this time it will affect 16 cabinet positions, which is a lot. And
And the main ones are finance,
the finance,
defense,
defense,
energy, education.
Yes.
Agriculture? No.
Deputy agriculture. That's also the big thing because we have Kun Nattawut Saikia, the first late leader to join the cabinet.
Well, that is big story.
Yes.
Because Nattawut will be the first representative of the red shirt movement to be in the cabinet. I think this is to pacify the red shirts' demands.
Yes.
That they must be represented in the government because they were the main contributor to the Pheu Thai Party's success in the election.
Yes, and a lot of people think that Kun Nattawut may have the expertise to help with the land issues in the agriculture industry because land problems, encroachment, and other things have been a big trouble for Thailand over the past year. So having Kun Nattawut, who is said to have some expertise on this aspect, might help, at least according to the government.
Yeah. But the main victim will be the finance minister, Kun Thirachai, who joined the Yingluck government on very high expectations that he would be the one to manage the financial affairs of the country because he was with the Bank of Thailand, he was with the Security Exchange Control, and he was supposed to be the young and upcoming guy, but suddenly, out of nowhere, he's now kicked out, and ceremoniously.
I personally see that as a signature of a Thaksin, typical Thaksin government, because if we remember a Thaksin government, we lose counts on how many people have become finance minister. It's a revolving door situation during Kun Thaksin government, and it seems to be happening now. But on one hand, it's you can be surprised by Kun Kitirat Naranong, and you see the departure of someone who seemed to be having financial discipline, like Kun Thirachai, who's was standing up against the attempt to transfer the debt of the government to the Central Bank of Thailand. But on the other hand, it's not that surprising because this government needs a lot of money to help with the flood rehabilitation. So they may need someone who is be more effective in finding the money for the government. And
more politically acceptable, I think.
Right.
But the education ministry is another big question mark.
Again, I see something very typical of the previous Thaksin administration because, again, we cannot count the number of people who come and go at the education ministry.
Starting back in Kun Thaksin's time, he was education minister for a few months.
At one time, he was stubborn as education minister himself, and maybe 4 or 5 ministers during his time. So this is the second one in the Yingluck government already. It will be Kun Suchat Thala Tamrongwet.
Well, if that is true, it's going to be a big surprise because Kun Suchat was finance minister before. He has not been known to have any education experience.
Right.
Or background for that matter. I don't know how. He is back in the cabinet with a totally alien, I should say, foreign alien portfolio for him.
This actually came out of the blue. We somehow anticipated some change, but not him, not Kun Suchat.
Then the defense ministry?
Right, and we have also unexpected Kun Yuttasak Sasipapa. Reportedly is going to become a deputy prime minister to be replaced by Kun Sukampon from the communications, from the transport ministry. We still trying to find out the reasons.
You know, the deputy ministers, the two deputies at communications who were fighting with the minister.
That could be one of the reasons that the need to transfer Kun Sukampol out of the trouble and still keep it fresh, give him some grace or it's a graceful exit for him. But also a lot of some other people think that it may have something to do with the Kun Yuttasak getting too close with the military, and he could be somehow influenced by the military leaders when it comes to reshuffle.
So overall, it's a big reshuffle, unexpected. The timing is earlier than expected, but it has very little to do with performance in a way, especially if you look back at the flood management and you thought that perhaps the reshuffle would have a lot to do with the efficiency.
None of the flood minister was affected, has been affected by this reshuffle.
So it means that this is another merry-go-round sort of game rather than improving efficiency after the first 5 months of probation. So we shall see whether this is really a Yingluck government or a Thaksin government.